Hello, YouTube, the internet, and everyone. A lot of upsetting things going on in the world today if you're a right winger. Oh, yes. You were called a racist arbitrarily. You were called a sexist arbitrarily. Don't you dare wear an American flag face mask or a MAGA hat. You will get assaulted. Physically assaulted. Teachers are throwing their students out of their Zoom classes because they have a Trump banner in their bedroom. And due to the nature of Zoom, the other students can't see it. So they can't use the it's a distracting excuse. They're discriminating against their students because they themselves are anti-Trump. They're irrational. They're hateful. And you know what else? The children that are allowed to go to physical schools, they're literally getting attacked by other students in the public school for wearing MAGA hats and shit. Their mothers can't even watch the videos for, just the sheer emotional reaction of seeing their kid get physically assaulted and spat on. There's hours and hours of this footage. Add that to the fact that the violent rioters exist. Add that to the fact that Trump derangement syndrome exists. And look at the things the left believes in. And you tell yourself, and you ask them, why do you think the left is so crazy? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because the preponderance of evidence that if you act crazy, then you are fucking crazy? Are you kidding me right now? But let me explain something to you that really boils my kettle. That really grinds my gears to make that Family Guy reference that everybody loves so very, very much. Let me tell you right the fuck now. You, Mr. Leftist, Mr. Left-winger, Mr. Liberal. You on the hunt for racists? You want to find your racist? Look in the goddamn mirror. You'll find him there. Let me tell you right now. When you're on the left, you're not a human being. You're a token. If you're a minority, like a black person or an Indian, you're a token for votes. They put you in a box and think you only think and act in one way. And if you get out of that way, then they call you an Uncle Tom and a blah, blah, blah. All sorts of racial epithets thrown in your general direction. And makes matters worse, oh no, being white doesn't save you. Hell no. Anti-white bullying on Twitter is ridiculous. And if you even bother to stand up for yourself, they'll throw memes at you suggesting that you have some involvement with the KKK. Like memes where there's a hand saying, "Here, sir, I believe this is yours," and it's a fucking Klan hood. They use the psychological association of white people with racism as a means to shut down criticism. You're less likely to fight back if they can make you at least appear racist within the comment thread. They do that shit. They permanently cast this in the role of the evil villain simply because, hey, he has the same skin color as an evil villain from forever ago. He must be cut from the same cloth. No, motherfucker, you're cut from the same cloth. The KKK is a creation of the Democratic Party in response to Republicans wanting to free the slaves. Or did you forget that? Historically speaking, the Demo-KKK Party has thrived on racism. They're clearly, deliberately trying to divide us so they can use the manufactured crisis for votes. That is what they do. They create this racism so they can live off of it, like vampires draining the blood out of our fucking necks. Let me tell you now, don't ever believe for a second that there isn't very real hatred of Caucasians or people of pan-European ancestry. Don't even fall for that for a second. Not when you have racist Arabs on the internet who will start sending epithets and throwing racially insensitive language around. And if you call them out on it, they will respond by sending you cryptic messages in Arabic, dare you to Google translate it, and even call you a goat fucker. Yeah, that was fun, because that happened to me. Or tell you that hoping for peace in continental Europe is pointless because you're inherently violent and you never won't be. Then you catch black separatists on Twitter saying racially inflammatory language and passing memes back and forth and laughing at each other in a fucking racist circle jerk that they think is absolutely so very fucking hilarious. I got a giant archive on my computer. Ask me for the email, I'll message to you at some time. I got proof positive of the entire thing. And don't you dare tell me it's fucking Photoshop. I don't even know how to use Photoshop, really. I know how to use the cropping tool. Oh, wow. The left-wingers are the real racists. Because if you're a minority and you try to walk away, they call you racist epithets. And if you're a white person and disagree with them, they immediately arbitrarily call you racist, sexist, misogynist, blah, 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 blah. And accuse you of being like a white supremacist and KKK. Sometimes even for just a simple crime of wearing a MAGA hat. These people are racist and they're delusional. They don't realize that they're the real problem in the country. When it comes to the issue of race, the only thing most conservatives even want to talk about is ethnic tradition of a given race of people. And whether or not that ethnic tradition could be considered a good ethnic tradition. You know, they want to criticize it. Friendly criticism, friendly constructive criticism. That's literally all I've ever seen. There's a certain sort of brotherhood, especially if you're a PMCer, millennial age conservative, postmodern conservative. You got Blexiters and Nexiters, that is Native American exit and black exit from the left. You know, they're really cool folks, actually. I've seen a lot of peace and love and brotherhood from those guys. They're cool. I love them. I'm really a big fan of the native conservative. He's a guy here on YouTube. Him and his buddy Two Braids. Those are some cool dudes. You know, if you don't follow them on Twitter or on YouTube, you are denying yourself an absolute pleasure. I'm telling you right now. These guys are fucking cool as hell. Don't deny yourself the pleasure, man. When it comes right down to it, the left are the real racists. Have been the entire fucking time. But they get to make use of the mainstream media, the Democratic Party, and successful propaganda, brainwashing kids into thinking it's the other way around. It's the most incredible level of projection imaginable. And the same goes for their claims of sexism and misogynism and blah, 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 blah. Because they're misandrists. They hate men. Remember that hashtag kill all men? And then they acted like it was such a big joke? Usually saying kill all X characteristic of person is usually not a joke. You do not take death or killing people as a joke. That's not funny. Dismemberment's funny in a certain context. Horror comedy is incredible. It's very funny. But in a real life context, where it's a realistic scenario, killing and dismembering people is not a fucking joke because it's real. That's when it's fucking real. In a fictional setting, it's fine. In a real setting, it's not funny. It's not even remotely funny. All you fucking liberals, I'm calling you out right now. You're the real racists. Because you judge everyone by the color of their skin. You throw racial epithets in their direction. You treat them like a token. They're not human beings to you. They're objects that you get to put in neat little categories. And just remember this. Only a white supremacist would believe in a social hierarchy where white people are at the top of the food chain. Intersectionality. Claiming that white people are so privileged that they're top of the pecking order. That sounds like white supremacism with guilt. It really fucking does. Like, you people are amazing, my God. Yeah, no, there's no question that the left are the real racists. After all, this is just a shitty cell phone video with an opinion on my new Galaxy A51. Yay! But at the end of the day, man, just don't fall for any of their horse shit. See them for how they really are. Blind, deranged, and projecting their own filth onto others. Talk to a conservative, listen to what they have to say, listen and consider. And for God's sakes, read a fucking dictionary. Go onto Oxford English Learner's Dictionary and look up the definition of racism. They use a completely partisan definition thought up in academics. It's a circle jerk. They're the only ones who use it. They use different definitions for words like racism and sexism, and even the word race is used differently by them. They don't speak the same English that you speak. Don't fall for it. It's a trick. So as a final message to the racist liberals, you want to know how I feel about you? Here's how I feel about you. Fuck you up the ass, no lube, I hope it hurts. God, you fucking people. Die in a fire after you've been butt raped with no lube. That's how I feel about you. Go back to whatever fucking hell that spawned you. Anyway. Sounds crazy to say now that after I said all that, but, peace?